beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. You guys, we're here today to unpack the pod again. We are going to unpack the latest Patreon episode that dropped this morning, and there is a lot to unpack there. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the beautiful people family. Like the video, it helps to push it out to other people, and let's get started. Y'all, can I just vent real quick before I start? There is a cricket in this room, and it is so nasty to me. The fact that this bug knows when I am speaking and when I am not speaking, like this bug is in my goddamn house that I pay bills for, and it is well aware of me. Like, once I stop speaking, then it starts up with that noisy shit again. And then as soon as I stop or start, it stops again. Like, I don't want it to be that comfortable in my house, and I don't want you to be that aware of me. It's a bug, you guys. That's nasty. Like, that is really, really creepy. The fact that it knows what I'm doing. I don't know. I just don't like it. And I'm terrified of them, but I can't wait to kill the shit out of this cricket. When I tell you it's loud as shit, it's loud as shit. And I can't wait to get it. But let's get started on the pod. All right, so first we start off with all the jokes. We joke about Joe calling Ice to tell him good night. We joke about Ish having on a full snowsuit in 90-degree weather. Joe has to go over there to smell and see if he smells. He doesn't smell, so score one for Ish. And then we have Joe telling Imani that Mel wants him to twerk for him. And we found out that that means dick twerk, right? So Imani's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And, why would she ask that anyway? Kind of, baffled by the whole thing. It just came out of nowhere. So then she says, like, are you okay? And then Joe says, down there. And then Flip starts saying, well, she doesn't know what you're going through, and Mel, you're going to feel bad once you find out, and she doesn't know. And I feel really bad for Imani because I feel like they made him come out with it, and he wasn't ready to come out with it. He clearly said he didn't want to come out with it right now. I mean, of course, he used the whole, I don't want to serious us out, but he said he didn't want to come out with it for whatever reason. So why are we making him say it? So we find out it was very sad that he has been diagnosed with bladder cancer. He said that he went through a procedure and he's still going through procedures or whatever, but it was stage 1. So hopefully and thankfully they caught it early, but he just said he's still going through some things. And they proceeded to joke on that. So, number one, Mel didn't seem all that concerned, if I could say that. Like, I don't know what it is I wanted from her, but I wanted a little more empathy, sympathy. Like, this is a guy that I don't care if you guys fucked around or not, but this is somebody that you go out with, you know him, you care about him, and he just told you, you claim you didn't know that he has been diagnosed with bladder cancer. Like, that is huge, and it's not anything to just still be smiling, talking about how do you say anything to cancer? And they're like, girl, you act like you care. But they can't say anything because they don't act like they care. Because later on, Joe tells her that she's supposed to be like Karuchi and be there and be by his side and give him massages and everything. And Imani's like, listen, y'all gonna have to stop with this narrative. And later on, he tells Mel, listen, you don't stop this shit, basically. He's like, you kind of feed into it, which is the same thing she was doing with the whole narrative with her and Ish. And she's going to get fucked up at some point. Somebody's going to have a woman that don't play that shit with her. And that's the jokes they be making as well. But he's coming off like they really, really haven't messed around. So I don't know what to believe at this point. He told her to stop the narrative and start telling people the truth. And she's claiming she don't know what he's talking about. But anyway, back to Imani and the fact that, Parks is like, yeah, you're supposed to change his diaper. Shit's not funny. It's not funny. And you guys, I just don't find Parks funny at all. I'm sorry, not at all. All that little slick shit he be saying is not cool to me. It's not funny to me. And nobody calls him on his shit, and I don't like it. Then we have Joe saying stuff later on. He's going to say something about his catheter glowing, and like they start calling it BC. Yeah, he got the BC. And I just feel like it's too soon. Like, I don't know. He said he's still going through procedures or whatever. Wait until that shit is over with and he is completely and totally in the clear or whatever. And it has to be something that he just found out, because he is still, moving slow and saying he can't really do a lot of stuff. He also said that that's the reason why he was sitting back on the couch and, slumped over. And I ain't gonna lie, I felt a little bit bad because I was one of the people who said, look at how he is sitting on this couch. Like, where's your professionalism? What is going on? And yeah, you don't know what people are going through. I mean, but of course we wouldn't think something serious like that. And mind you, that's not the first time though. He really do be relaxed on there. So I want to try to shoot you some bail on that one, Imani, but no, I can't do it. However, I am praying for him. I hope he's okay. Y'all know he drives me crazy. Not as crazy as Melissa Ford. He's fine, I guess. But I do hope that he's okay. So we move past that. They'll joke about it some more during the whole thing, but this is it for me. Imani, keep your head up. We're praying for you. We get into a whole back and forth about if being on the podcast has done anything for their reach. And Imani and Flip ends up getting into it because, of course, Imani, Ice, and Ish are telling Queen's Flip that, it did increase his reach. And he's like, no, I've always been on. I've always been popular. And they're trying to tell him, no, we're not saying that you weren't popular. We're just saying that you're more known now. And I'm sorry, I like Flip now. At first, I didn't understand him or why he was here. However, I like him now. But I had no idea who he was when he first came. Like, never heard of him a day in my life. So I was just like, what the fuck is happening? And why is this loud guy here? So yes, he most definitely made him, he broadened his reach. So they ended up going into this whole back and forth. Then we get to Mel asking Joe about speaking at Harvard. Are you going to do it? Are you going to be a keynote speaker? He says, well, my mom says I probably should. I kind of have to do it. And he's like, yeah, did you ever find out why they rescinded their, invite for you? And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. And that pisses me off, of course, because we can talk about everything else except for her. And not that I want to hear anything about her, because I really don't care. Want her off the pod. Y'all know that. And y'all already know every time I talk about the pod, I'm going to say it. So there it is. But yeah, she's just like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. It's sensitive. And they're like, oh, okay, well, if it's sensitive. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And then Parks said it. Don't like Parks either now. But he came out with exactly what everybody was thinking. He's like, my guy brought cancer, bladder cancer. And you can't talk about, we have to be sensitive to you. And then you guys, I didn't see it on the first watch, but the second watch I saw where Ice and Ish was saying, nope, y'all outed him. He didn't even want to come out with it. Y'all outed him. And they didn't look happy about it because the shit was foul. And they both stood with that too. Like, no, y'all outed him. And Imani was just like, yeah, I wasn't going to say nothing. And Ice even said, he kept saying, I don't want to talk about it. And yeah, y'all outed him, which was really shitty. And then Joe was like, well, yeah, but then he talked about it with no problem. No, you all are foul as shit and y'all outed him. But anyway, Mel. So it comes out, of course, that she has this subscription service. And what another way of saying OnlyFans. Girl, subscription service, you have OnlyFans. And I don't know what she's doing on OnlyFans. I didn't even know she had OnlyFans. I don't care. But I guess that's why they took back their, they rescinded their invite for her. So what? And then she's asking, can she go? Can anybody go? And she's a hater because she feels like he's not prepared enough. I'm sure she feels like he's not well spoken enough, like he's gonna fuck it up, and that's why she wants to go and look, because she's a hater. Because why would you want to go if you feel like they played you? If y'all played me and I feel a way about it, I'm not gonna want to come to your school, even in support of anybody. Fuck you guys and fuck your school. But she wants to go because she wants to sit there and watch Joe in her eyes kind of fail. And I'm not saying that he would fail. I'm saying in her eyes, I feel like she don't think he would do a great job at it, or she don't think he would do as well as she did. And That's shitty to me. And he didn't pick up on it. Nobody picked up on it. But she wasn't being sincere. She wasn't. So there's that. I just have to point out the fact that as they're talking about OnlyFans, they're talking about somebody named Lil Tay. I have no idea who this person is, none whatsoever. However, apparently she just turned 18 and she was doing a countdown to be able to put her OnlyFans on. And, they're like, don't talk about her. She's a baby, pretty much. And here comes nasty ass Parks. Yeah, while I don't think that, kids should be able to do that, she's 18, and like, he's just nasty and he sounds like a creep. And then you remember that his wife is so much younger than him and looks like a little girl. And yeah, Parks is Parks is around all these black people, and they don't call him a culture vulture or anything because he doesn't try to act black, but he tries to act like he's down with the cause. But I honestly just feel like behind their backs, when he's with all his white friends, it may be something different. Because Parks, with his caw, oh my God, and he'd be like, sure. Like, he's whiter than the whitest white man. He really is still white. And y'all just need to watch him. That's all I'm going to say. But I just feel like it's not a safe space up there at all with any of them. I wouldn't tell any of them anything. So then as Mel is saying something and Flip is like, yeah, you may as well say it because I'm going to just find out and come up in here and say something. And Ice and Ish, once again, the voices of reason, are like, I don't know why y'all still tell him stuff. Like, y'all still tell him stuff. But for me, I wouldn't tell anybody up there anything. I feel like none of them can be trusted. Absolutely none of them. And this is why they always have the conversations about who's really friends and why they don't hang out, after the pod. And I don't blame Ish. I wouldn't fuck with none of them outside of the pod. Listen, let me come here, let me make my money, and let me be out. And I'm learning that, well, it's looking like Flip is doing the same thing. Flip is quiet most of the time now. I think he's just there for a paycheck. He's not really fooling with them either. And I understand. Joe has a very, very, very toxic environment. I am just hoping that when Mark comes back, when the good doctor comes back, that he does not have all of these bad jokes about Imani. I mean, okay, we know that he can really, really hit below the belt. He is really good at like letting people have it. He's great at it, actually. It stings, and sometimes it's too much. A lot of the time it's too much. It'd be funny though, but it'd be too much. But I just feel like this is something very serious, and I don't even want to hear jokes about it a lot. And I think that Imani's a good sport, and the fact that they outed him and his condition and talking about his catheter and everything. Like, Joe basically let everybody know he has a catheter right now. That's not something that everybody should know. Like, that's not everybody's business. It's just a very, very toxic environment up there. While they were talking about Mel and the whole Harvard thing, they asked why she didn't. Flip asked her why she didn't just delete the OnlyFans, and Ish comes to her rescue like, why would she do that? That's making her money, this and that. And then she ends up going to the washroom, and Joe is just like, hey, you told her wrong. He's trying to whisper. He's like, she could still get brownstones and do other things or whatever if she would have deleted that OnlyFans. And he's like, no, that's sure money. And my thing is, which is exactly what Joe said, she's ashamed of it. She's ashamed of being on, like, she's never beaten the allegations. This is what you choose to do. And again, I don't know what she is actually doing on OnlyFans. It could just be all feet. I have no idea. However, you're trying to get past that look, like, you're trying to come off as if you have brains, and we all know that Melissa just be talking a whole bunch of gibberish. However, if she'd have spoke at Harvard, maybe it would have opened some doors for her or whatever, and she could have gone out there and made some money in a different way. And that is what Joe and Flip were saying. So then Ish was like, okay, yeah, I agree with that, because she's very much so ashamed of it. She don't even want to call it OnlyFans. Like Joe said, you're calling it a subscription as if you're talking about Disney Plus or something. No, this is not a subscription service like that. It's fucking OnlyFans, girl. All right, you guys, that's it. They didn't talk about too much more. Nothing to see here. It's all done. If you are still here, you are the real MVP. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening in. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It is absolutely free of charge, costs nothing whatsoever, just a click of the button. Huge deal for me. It is literally just a click of the button for you. I will see you guys in the next video. Smooches.